Hi, I'm Peter J. Ray. Welcome to Adventures in History. Today's topic is Dearest Mother and Dad. Love, Ruth, John, Mark, Patricia, and Peter. 1976, Part 161. This was originally published, letters. These letters were originally published as Small Shaw Family Memories Collection, or SFMC number 76, published on March 7th, 2002. Letter from the editor of the SFMC. Yours truly, Peter J. Ray. Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing? Well, everything is fine here in the Philippines. The school year is almost over. Graduation will be a week from today, and then we will have our glorious summer vacation. I have a rare day off, and I'm home alone. Tim is at school analysis with the senior students on their retreat. Since it's Friday, I'll take Tim to the Roosevelt Park to play baseball. Hopefully either Cholo and or Daffy Dominguez will also come. Otherwise, Tim will just have to play with his daddy. We use the wooden baseball bat now in only controlled circumstances, if it's just Tim and me or maybe one other kid. If there are a lot of kids, I can't take the risk of somebody getting hurt. Like last summer when Tim got bashed in the forehead and had 7 stitches. That was a major bummer. Last Sunday we did use the wooden bat, and Tim was delighted because he can hit the ball so much farther. I just love playing baseball with Tim and his friends. It's the best. It should be an interesting summer because we're at a new park now, located on Harding Street. How about that? I'm going to make another big effort to learn Tagalog language like I did last summer. I made progress then. I've really got to work on it so I can fit in better here and be less of an outsider. It takes work. Of course, I'll continue my Cleveland City of Champions research and dissemination. Recently, I learned that the 1939 movie The Wizard of Oz, you remember the Wicked Witch of the West, well, she was played by Margaret Hamilton, a Cleveland native. Take care, y'all. Catch you later, alligators. Sincerely yours, Peter J. Ray. Ruth Ray's Bahamas Diary, 1976, Wednesday, April 7th. 10 o'clock a.m. John called me and wept. Could hardly talk. The front headline in the Elyria newspaper. The Peter Beebe Appeals Court reversed. I believe. So many calls. An Oberlin group invited us to a party. I still didn't get packed and weighed ahead. We went to bed at 3 in the morning and got up at 6:30 a.m., 3.5 hours of sleep. Newspaper reporters were at the house at night and telephone calls in the morning. Thursday, April 8th, 1976. Gorgeous day, sunny. Thank you, dear God. We left for the Bahamas at 9:35 a.m. on Eastern Airlines, 65 pounds overweight. I picked daffodils for Carly Donaldson. Red took money. Carly called for us at 8 o'clock a.m. in their station wagon car, and Jane's boyfriend, Mike, John, Ruth, Patty, Peter, and Mary were off to the airport. We almost forgot Peter's duffel bag in Mike's car. We didn't weigh in, thank heavens. We still must make a more complete list of what we need. Spoons? Pans? I missed the black suitcase for small items. I must bring down pictures of our house, flowers, and Thelma to show the Fergusons. On the airplane, we had French toast, very good. Little sausages and fresh pineapple, very good. To Miami at 12:05 p.m. and then to Nassau, Bahamas. It was pouring as we got off the airplane. First time it was ever raining on arrival. The cab was $17 to the gas company. They were out of cartridges. Then we went to the lumber company, got a new gasoline stove and screening and tax. To the British Colonial Hotel, really faded colonialism. Peter went to McDonald's. We went to the wharf for dinner. The grouper was good. We have to charter a 9-passenger plane. We had too much stuff for a 5-person plane. Friday, April 9th, 1976. What a gorgeous day. I wonder what it will bring. We had a good breakfast in the British Colonial Dining Room and went by cab to the Purity Bakery for bread and Kelly's for cupcakes, cookies, and ginger bars, then to the city market for produce, meat, and cokes. $33.36. The cab was $16.25 to the airport. We took a chartered 9-passenger plane, $185 to Norman's Key. We could have gone Bahama Air at 2:30 for $20 each, plus 20 cents per pound extra. We got a boat, $40 to Cistern Key, but it conked out when we got in the water, so we waited all day. Finally, a fishing cruiser returned, and John asked them to take us. Very good of them. It was a fast trip right up on the beach. We had a brigade to get everything all off the boat. No tent poles. It's good to see the shell of the gazebo still up. The roof is still standing. Peter went to the cave and got chairs. Good. The girls, Patricia and Mary Faulkner, fixed cheeseburgers. We have no tent poles. I slept in Peter's tent. The dogs were barking in my dream. John, the girls, and Peter slept on the beach. Saturday, April 10th, 1976. Stuff is all over the place. No tent. The girls, Patricia and Mary, made Pam's bacon egg thing. We forgot the can opener. John went for ice. The freezer was out because the generator was out. Stephen Cox said he knew we were coming because Palm Sunday was coming up. Finally, John and Peter made some lathing into a frame and put up the tent, tying it to palm trees. It was so good to have a main tent and get the food together. Lunch was bologna and cheese sandwiches on buns and cupcakes. The girls went snorkeling. Peter went swimming, but just as John was about to go, Mr. Ferguson came at 2 o'clock and stayed till almost 5 o'clock. John and Mr. Ferguson put up the last few beams on the roof and showed us how to tie palm fronds. Peter got stuff out of the cave which was mildewed. The plastic stuff is okay. We had cheeseburgers, cupcakes, and cookies. I had tang and rum, iced tea with rum, chocolate with rum. It was a beautiful night, the moon out and palm trees. It was good to be in our screen tent. Palm Sunday, April 11th, 1976. Sunrise. 5 years ago today, Pamela died. The little orange tree we planted in her memory is losing its leaves. It's a beautiful day. Patty and Mary were up cooking Pam's bacon egg things. Woke Peter on the beach to eat. John got the ice thing from Steve Cox. We tried to wash the mildewed shirts from the cave, and conch fishermen arrived. John and Peter tried to finish the slats on the roof. Mr. Ferguson came at 4 o'clock and worked till 7 o'clock. Mary cooked the chicken for dinner with mashed potatoes, carrots, salad, and a ginger bar. It's cool tonight. Monday, April 12th, 1976. The conch boat left early. We had grapefruit. Gorgeous day. We had bacon, eggs, tang, coffee, and toast. Mr. Ferguson cut palm fronds at 7 o'clock a.m. and came with a boat at 8 o'clock and left at 10 o'clock a.m. Steve Cox came. Mr. Ferguson and John fixed braces and did lathing. We had a chain gang to bring up wood. The girls went to the ocean beach. Mary Faulkner found a gorgeous purple sea fan. Beautiful. We took a movie of John working on the hut. Then I went snorkeling. The girls blew up the canoe and paddled to Chicken Key and back. A big sailboat went by. We have so many hummingbirds, they're so tame, and also little yellow banana birds. John and Peter put up more lathing and some braces, then quit and went snorkeling. I discovered a century plant up by the old house. Beautiful evening, sunset, and pink sky. Beautiful calm air, so sweet, the water so calm and lovely, gorgeous spot. The moon is so bright, it awakes me in the night when it comes over my side of the screen tent. Tuesday, April 13th, 1976. 8 p.m. to 9 a.m., 13 hours sleep. I dreamed a lot. My mother gave me a big hug. It's a beautiful day, going to be hot. John was putting up braces. Peter was putting up lathing. The girls went for bread, did the dishes, washed shirts, and watered Pam's orange tree. It's getting new little green leaf shoots. I appreciate Peter watering it. We went to the Royal Palm Spot in the afternoon. The girls took their lunch to Grant's porch to read. John and Peter slept for 2 hours. Mr. Ferguson came and they worked on the lathing for the roof for 3 hours. The girls got water and fixed supper. Good. Tacos with cheese, onions, tomato, chocolate pudding. Mr. Ferguson put up the first 2 leaf palm fronds on the roof. Looks good. We went to bed at 7:30 p.m. Wednesday, April 14th, 1976. I dreamed I was John's second wife and changing a red barn and blue bedroom to gold. Poor job. I was up at 6:45 and up to the old house to see the sun rise, but the sun was already up. John and Peter worked from 9 a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m., 4 hours, and finished putting up the lathing. Peter went for the ice thing for the cooler. The girls and I began, quote, cutting palm fronds for the roof. Patty put up some, I put up 6. John broke the yellow chair. Then he went snorkeling. 12 days to do 2,480 palm fronds, 576 per person, 57 a day each. Wow! There was a dark clouds and thunder. Could see a storm coming. Then it poured. My sleeping bag and Peter's got wet. I wonder if Bud would like it here. I must bring long pants and sweaters. The girls fixed sloppy joes and hot chocolate. They were good with rum. Went to bed at 7:30 p.m. Thursday, April 15th. Sunrise at 6:30 a.m. I dreamt of a wedding. Peter was up early and over to the ocean beach. The sun was coming out. The girls, John and I gathered palm fronds. No, the girls and I palm fronded. We thatched 3 rows, 35 laths to go. Gorgeous day. We snorkeled to the next beach and to the palm tree at the end. The old Haitian wreck is even more wrecked. The reefs seem to be building up. John and Peter cut palm fronds. Patty, Peter, and I put up some. Mary's sunburned, so she made supper. Skillet lasagna, good. It's windy tonight. More conch fishermen arrived at the next beach. Friday, April 16th, 1976. Good Friday. Patty got up early. John cut palm fronds and Patty tied them. Mary made pancakes. John was gathering and we tied. Worked hard. We finished almost 4 rows of the roof. The girls got ice and bread. The conch boat arrived. 3 men in the boat came. They were drunk and offered John wine. John turned away. They visited the conch boat. Eventually they all sailed away. We all worked on the roof, making good progress. 2 more rows. Patty made tuna noodle casserole. I dreamed of the parable of the woman at the sacred well. The men wouldn't let cross the desert road to the well. The women needed water. I dreamed of solving problems directly. Don't avoid. Saturday, April 17th. Patty was up early and went to the well for water. John was up early cutting palm fronds. We worked on the roof. Mr. Ferguson brought a big boatload of beautiful, huge palm fronds. We worked on the roof, 9 rows on one side and 5 on the other. The girls got eggs and boiled 3 dozen eggs. We dyed Easter eggs and put names and decals on them. John brought more palm fronds, so we did more on the roof. Windy. The roof is half done. 10.5 rows on one side and 7 on the other. It's going very well. Easter Sunday, April 18th, 1976. I was up at 5:30 a.m. and hop with Easter baskets to Patty and Mary on the beach and to Peter in his tent and by John's cot. Then I went up to the house to see the Easter sunrise and to water Pam's orange tree. The girls made pancakes. I cut grapefruit. The girls made jello and pie for dinner, and John did the dishes. Patty had surprise Easter eggs and little Whitman samplers for everyone. We had one of Lori Skillen's chocolates, hand-dipped. Steve Cox came for the Easter egg hunt. Patty found 11 eggs, Mary 8, Stephen 7, Peter 4, John 2, and there were 4 missing. The girls fixed a wonderful Easter dinner. Mary's ham and chips, sweet and sour sauce. Mary's potatoes au gratin and stuffing, orange jello with mandarin oranges and chocolate pie and graham cracker crust. Very good. I sent a dinner to Mr. Ferguson, whose back is hurting. Monday, April 19th, 1976. The girls were up and doing homework on the beach. John cut palm fronds. The girls got ice and bread. Peter, Mary, and I thatched the roof. 12 rows and 8 rows, over half done. The girls went to the Grants' patio to do calculus and physics, and Peter was doing chemistry. Peter's diary 2 years ago. We worked on the old houses, and John took underwater movies. I went to the ocean beach and found a cup and a coconut. Worked a long time on the roof. Tuesday, April 20th. It's much calmer today. I was up early. Worked on palm fronds on the roof. Then I went to the ocean beach and found driftwood, a pail, a seat, sponge and comb, a real scavenger. John finished cutting palm fronds on our side and went snorkeling on the ocean beach. Mr. Ferguson arrived with a wonderful boatload of palm fronds. We all worked on the roof. John rested. Peter and the girls did their homework. I went by canoe to the Rummages Beach and explored their paths. First time to the Grants' house. Brought back ice and bread in the canoe. John and Peter brought a boatload of palm fronds, and we all worked until sunset. Beautiful calm water. The mosquitoes were buzzing all night. It's good to have a screen tent. Only about 6 more rows to do on the roof. Wednesday, April 21st. Scrambled eggs. John and Peter went to the Grants to cut palm fronds. Got a boatload. The girls and I loaded and carried them up to the gazebo. John found 6 pointed starfish. Lots of work to do. 6 rows left. We finished the roof, but Mr. Ferguson will do the ridge. Another conch boat came. Thursday, April 22nd, 1976. We had pancakes and grapefruit. John and Peter had a big boatload of palm fronds. Mr. Ferguson was weaving the backbone of the ridge, and Peter was also weaving. Patricia and Mary were doing their homework. We took a movie of the yellow blossom cactus and went snorkeling. Another boatload of palm fronds. John said cutting palm fronds in the jungle with mosquitoes was like being in hell. I said sitting on the roof with the view of the water and sky and weaving the fronds was like being in heaven. The kids noticed the contrast. We worked late on the house and breaking up the old cement floor. We carried up sand and for dinner had tacos and cheesecake. Very good. The girls made dinner. Friday, April 23rd. Beautiful day. John's working on the floor of the house. The girls went for ice and Peter went for water. A sailboat came by looking for water. I'm weaving a bamboo blind that broke. We went snorkeling and John took underwater movies. Steve and Mr. Ferguson went to Norman's Key for Mrs. Ferguson, Thelma, and Albert on the 1 o'clock plane. We're alone on the island, and another conch boat came. Beautiful day, the water is calm and the sky is blue. The girls went to the small ocean beach for surfing. Peter went to the ocean beach. A barracuda was between him and the shore. He found a sponge. Skillet lasagna and butterscotch pie for dinner. Saturday, April 24th. Girls did their homework. John was chopping rocks for the floor. Mr. and Mrs. Ferguson and Thelma came by boat. Gave them bubbles, ribbons, and a travel case, umbrella, and candy. Mr. Ferguson finished weaving the ridge palms, the backbone of the roof. We started cementing the floor. Big job. Did half the floor. 5 bags of cement. The girls, Peter, and I carried up sand, a chain gang. Peter mixed the dry and John mixed the wet cement. And Mr. Ferguson smoothed. He was a plasterer. I took Thelma swimming and in a canoe. Real live wire. Everyone is exhausted. Sunday, April 25th. Patty was up and fixing scrambled eggs and Vienna sausages. The generators are now gone, so we had to take fish to Norman's Key. We went snorkeling. Peter was up early and swept the new floor and took up a chair and books and was doing his homework in the new house. He's moved in. Monday, April 26th. Pancakes and potato pancakes. It's raining. The sun came out, did the washing. Pam's orange tree is in full orange blossoms, and Peter's tender loving care. We need water. Tuesday, April 27th. I was up at sunrise packing and putting things in a case and took down the tent. 6 duffel bags, 2 coolers, and a brown suitcase. The boat did not come. Mr. Ferguson and Steve took us to Norman's Key in a rush. We were a half-hour late for the airplane. The pilot was walking up and down the gangplank looking at his watch. A 9-passenger airplane to Nassau. We went to lunch and shopping and then to Miami, Florida, and home. The Faulkners met us with 2 cars. We're back from the Bahamas. 21508 Avalon Drive, Rocky River, Ohio, 44116, April 30th, 1976. Dearest Mother, it was good to get your letter today. We arrived home safely with lots of experiences. We thatched a whole roof in the Bahamas, but arrived home to lots of storm damage to the breakwall and breach house. Patty was accepted at Dartmouth, Brown, Duke, and Oberlin, and has to decide today. I had a letter from Bud yesterday. Thought you'd like to see the article about John. Love, Ruth. 21508 Avalon Drive, Rocky River, Ohio, 44116, May 10th, 1976. Dearest Mother and Dad, what a gorgeous day it is, and I'm out in the garden in the sunshine in shorts, renewing my Bahama tan, and how I wish you were here to share all our lovely flowers. I always think of Doris when she said she'd look out her kitchen window and see a weed and feel she should go out and dig it. There always seems so much that cries for attention that I could spend my life at it. Of course I love it when I'm able to do it. Right now our azaleas are all out and they are white and pink, and my pink, yellow, and white tulips are still out, and the pansies and forget-me-nots. Pam's dogwood tree at the cemetery is especially lovely this year. While we were gone, it was 80 degrees at Easter, and Carly Donaldson brought her mother and Dad and Dick's mother and their whole family and had a picnic in our backyard and said it was so lovely. Our dogwood, magnolia, cherry, and apple tree and daffodils and hyacinths were all in full bloom. So many people have told me how much they enjoyed driving by and seeing all our flowers. We had a very busy and successful trip to the Bahamas and have been extremely busy since we got home, and the next few weeks will be so. Patty asked that I write and invite you to Mark's graduation from Oberlin May 23rd, and her high school graduation on June 4th. Mark will get his bachelor's degree and hopes to go on and eventually get his Ph.D. That was why he was in Boston, to see Pam Williams and to interview for the Episcopal Divinity College. Pam Williams graduated last year and is coming back for Mark's graduation. Mark had taken time off when he was writing his plays. He wants to marry Pam, but her folks want them to wait a year. Tomorrow will be Peter's 16th birthday, a wonderful young man. Patty is in her Catalina swim show all week and plays her senior piano solo at a recital on Sunday. Super lovely gal. She was accepted at Dartmouth, Brown, Duke, and Oberlin and chose Dartmouth. All schools that are hard to get into. They choose the cream of the crop. We had a very exciting trip. John cut 2,000 palm fronds and we wove them into a roof. We have lots of damage down by the lake on our return, so lots of work to do here too. I'd invited John's mother for a luncheon, so she brought over about 10 friends last Friday for a sit-down luncheon. I cleaned all the windows in and out that I could reach and put 6 huge bags of pay-grow around the yard on my flowers. And with everything, my knee kept cracking and I was about collapsed when they left. I served deboned chicken breasts. My good friend Joyce Summers helped me serve. My knee is still bad. I have Bible study luncheon here Thursday and Koinonia Friday night, so hope my knee feels better. I'm looking forward to hearing about Janet's trip. I'm sure it was exciting. Another super gal. Patty is so busy, and we are having one of the big graduation parties at our house. John's mother and Helen are coming for the weekend to see Pam's swim show. and for Patty's piano recital. I'm making the flower arrangements for it. I'm also in charge of the retirement reception for the assistant high school principal and teacher, and just wrote 40 invitations. And we'll try to have a turkey dinner for John's mother and Helen. I'm trying to copy the diary I wrote of our Bahamas trip for you and enclose some of the pictures. It was the best trip yet, heaven on earth. The workmen have put the big post back up on the break wall here and fixed the windows, and the beach house is drying out from the 1 foot of water and mud in it. The lamps were floating in the living room. They are waiting for a flat day to put another 12-inch cap on a section of the break wall. John has been raking up the debris and sand. Our yard is like a meadow, so lush and green. Peter keeps mowing it. He is in the church softball league and delivers newspapers. He, too, is in the honors courses at school, which keeps them busy, which is good to be challenged. Patty is in the honors courses, advanced placement, and she takes those tests Monday. And if they qualify, they can skip the freshman college course, which at Dartmouth $7,000 a year would be good, but it's very difficult to do. Her English course now is equivalent to a freshman college course. One of her poems was published in a national poetry magazine, so she's going to be like Mark, major in English and music. Now Mark is religion too. I give John the credit for being such a super father to Mark and guiding him when he needed it the most, after he was 21 years old. I did what I could when they were young, but they need a father's guidance when they're older. John was so patient. I had given up, and every night a year ago last summer, when Mark and Pam Williams were painting the beach house, John would go down, smoke a cigar, and listen to Mark and his ideas. He read all the books Mark suggested and listened to him. He never preached, but he would come up and pray about how to guide Mark. We were so concerned about the direction Mark was heading. I cried. Finally, John got an answer, and he told Mark that he would give him a good book to read. And he bought him a Bible, New English with the Apocrypha, and gave it to Mark. Mark was stunned and delighted, and he read the whole thing. He sat at Lakeside 7 hours a day reading it. And then he started taking courses in religion. Then when he came to Akron and saw John in the church trial, he decided to become a priest. Who knows how it will turn out, but it shows how much influence we have. God bless. Love, Ruth. 21508 Avalon Drive, Rocky River, Ohio. May 22nd, 1976. Dearest Mother and Dad, it was good to get your letter, but I'm so very sorry about your accident and hope you are better and no repercussions. That's the way these things happen. I'm just over my knee thing, I hope, and it really slows you down. What a wonderful privilege to live to see your great-grandchild. I'm sure you just do love her. How much you love children and to see part of you going on. Who and where and what are Daphne's parents in all of this? I wrote Bud that I remember how upset the Whiteses and Summers were when their daughters wanted to get married, but soon they were enjoying their grandchildren. And more recently, a friend's 18-year-old son's girlfriend had a baby, and they were not going to marry, but a month later were married in the father's living room. Pat was so upset when her daughter had an abortion, and then a baby, and then married another boy. Pat said that her granddaughter just whispers because the parents quarrel so violently. I remember, too, how when we lost Pam that I wished so much that she'd had a baby, so something of her would be going on, and now something of Doris is. When I was testing the eyes of preschoolers, and the mothers would comment on each child, I couldn't help but think that soon Jessica would be one of those children. Bud is not losing his family, but gaining one in responsibility. Patty's swim show was super, and her piano solo super. She was awarded the English prize and poetry and music, too, at the recognition assembly, and went to the father-daughter dance with John and the thespian banquet. We are going for Mark's graduation, and John's mother and Helen, too, are coming. And Helen is having a gathering later after we have dinner at the Oberlin Inn. At Helen's, Mark told us about his paper on the Dead Sea Scrolls. Patty's orchestra concert is tonight. She got a National Music Award presented at the concert. Wednesday, we went to the yacht club for John's birthday dinner with the Kirkles and Donaldsons, and they each have a son and Peter. Eve had modeled that day at the yacht club luncheon, but she's made a wonderful birthday cake the night before, and so we all sang happy birthday. Marianne Mastix, Patty's piano teacher who plays with the Cleveland Symphony, came over, kissed him, danced, and so many did. Eve was the one who arranged the reception for Pam's memorial service. All that food, and Carly has kept me going all these years. Dick Donaldson is vice president for Standard Oil, and he's been to Alaska about 50 times for the pipeline. I arranged the flowers for Patty's piano reception and cooked a turkey for John's mother and Helen. They stayed the weekend. Someone gave Patty a dozen red roses for swimming, and we presented her with some for her piano solo. We're having a Hawaiian luau in our yard for the AFS group. Hope we have a pretty evening. Peter is getting his temporary driver's license today. Chip Richmond came to Patty's recital and said that he wants to go back to the Bahamas with us, that he misses it so much. We had a phone call from Craig Porter's mother, and he is graduating and got a Phi Beta Kappa. He's going to medical school and going into human genetics. She said that he still visits Pam's spot at the cemetery. They played cello together, and they used to walk home from school together. He had tickets to take her to the opera when she died, when we were to get back. I'm sure Bud needs Doris's help now, and I've tried to think what she would do. She was so efficient. I told Peter that Craig Porter still remembers Pam, and Peter said, "Who could forget? We have to deliver Patty's geraniums. She sold 537. We delivered geraniums. Patty went to Cedar Point. We toasted Mark's graduation with Chip's champagne. Mark graduated. He did it. He wrote a 25-page paper on the Dead Sea Scrolls. Love, Ruth." Now we have a letter to the editor based on the original publication, and it's from my father, John S. Ray. Dear Editor, what a wonderful 4 pages of pictures in SFMC number 76. Beautiful pictures of Patricia. Outstanding pictures regarding the fronding of the roof of the old house on Cistern Key. What wonderful memories. Your mother's diary of the work involved in restoring the old house really brings it all back. What a project. Amazing that we were able to do it. Could not have done it without Mr. Ferguson. What a fine man. Patty was accepted at Oberlin, Brown, Duke, and Oberlin. Wow! Mark graduated from Oberlin and Patty from high school the same year of 1976. The Peter Beebe case was won by appeal. My oh my! Lakefront damage on our return trip from the Bahamas. A lot of work. I do not remember giving Mark a Bible to read, but it certainly sounds like a good idea. Craig Porter, Phi Beta Kappa, wonderful young man. He had tickets to take Pam to the opera, but she never made it back from the Bahamas. Keep up the good work. Love, Dad. John S. Ray, Rocky River, Ohio. Well, that concludes today's presentation. Thanks so much for watching. Really appreciate it. God bless you. Take care, and I'll see you next time.